now that you say that, I can't unsee it. You're absolutely right.
The Reclaimer, let's talk about that first, because I was going to go in a totally different direction.
You can make as much money as you need and work your way towards any ship in the game.
They were trying to cash in off of that nostalgia and that hype.
Oh my gosh, yes. Last week on Open Comms Radio, we didn't have so much. This week we have a lot to go through, man.
I've only skimmed the surface, so I'm here for the ride once again.
Well, welcome to Open Comms Radio, your StarCitizen call-in show. If you guys are watching, if you've watched before, we know a lot of you have, give us a little favor, like and subscribe. A little subby there. So you can always catch up and pop on the Discord. It is a call-in show. We do take callers, and every week we have a question. Yeah, this week's no different. Our question this week: AI blades, scanning, and radiation gameplay. Have you heard?
Have you heard? I have not. I mean, only recently. I guess AI blades, but yeah, I guess you're kind of excited about this. I'm very skeptical. Extremely skeptical.
About the AI blades?
Yeah, only because I can't tell what is the community just rumor mill sometimes versus. I mean, has there been press releases specifically concerning? I guess what is AI Blaze probably is what we should talk about.
A press release? I don't think it's going to be a press release to have.
Well, they released the. I mean, what did they release? The roadmap.
Yeah, they'll put it on the roadmap. They tweeted a photo, I believe, or one of the developers tweeted a photo of an AI blade, and was like,
So and that's what we're running with. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but the scanning and the radiation are both in the monthly report.
That is pretty cool. I'm excited to see some of these little suit lockers perhaps come online, maybe in the near future. I assume, unless they're going to make every suit radiation proof. But
oh, okay, they didn't mention suit lockers.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking on my part.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of presuming that with one you would kind of naturally need the other, unless everybody's going out there with full hazmat suit in their backpack.
Well, now who's starting the rumor mill?
I know. I'm as bad. I'm just as bad.
Yeah, this week we got a big discussion, and I put up here the monthly report, because there's one thing. It's not really about the discussion, but this applies to everyone, and so I want to make sure everyone sees what's here in the monthly. In the core gameplay section, you scroll down a little bit, and they say further improvements were then made to ship death. For example, fatal damage behaviors now require a significant impact. In addition, catastrophic misfires can now be triggered by nearby items failing due to severe damage. Catastrophic misfires, like is my ship going to misfire, can now be triggered by nearby items failing due to severe damage.
Interesting. I assume catastrophic misfire means the component is done for a second. It's
Oh, okay.
Cooked. Otherwise, it would be just a regular misfire, right?
So you mean it's more like the component misfires whatever it needs to like send, like whatever signal it needs to send. So if is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So if it was like your quantum drive, you'd glitch out. You maybe have to restart your whole spooling if it misfires. But a catastrophic misfire to me means that I don't know that the whole component is kaput. Like your drive is down until I guess an engineer or somebody can do something about it.
Well, it also says these can be triggered by nearby items failing. I assume items are the components. But if it's not the components, I mean, what's a nearby item in your ship? Maybe the fuse.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know how Catastrophic misfires. I just assumed it was talking about the components, but I don't know how the ship itself.
Because it says triggered by nearby items. So I'm assuming maybe that's fuses. Maybe they have another tool other than a fuse, something that you have to fix or replace. Like, on the new repair missions that they're sending in Pyro, you have to repair a pipe or something with your repair gun.
Mm-hmm.
That could be like an item they're referring to.
And we do have a fire extinguisher pretty much in every ship now, so.
Yeah, and I can't help but feel like this is referring to this could be referring to radiation. Because if you're in a ship that's not a terrapin, supposedly the terrapin's the only real one. I guess maybe the 400i2 that can like take significant can survive in those like hostile radiation zones. I assume if you're not in one of those ships, it's going to slowly eat away at your components or your fuses or whatever.
Okay, yeah, something with shielding.
And then right below that,
Interesting.
it says, for flight experience, the team enabled the new spaceflight mode in their feature streams. They're currently resolving bugs related to AI ship motion alongside outstanding work on the takeoff and landing experience. Alongside outstanding work on the takeoff and landing experience. Are we getting a camera?
Oh, I imagine it's. Does this have something to go with the
Oh.
aerodynamic? If we go one paragraph down, do you think it has anything to do with that?
Hold on here. I had to fix the thing there because I'm not a professional. One paragraph down. An overhaul of control surface tech began. As such, flying in atmosphere and especially gliding is now much more realistic thanks to believable aerodynamic behaviors. Hold on. Oh, okay. An overhaul of control surface tech began. They started
Okay.
it. Because the
So yeah,
next
we're
sentence
not.
is as such,
Okay.
flying in atmosphere, especially gliding, is now much more realistic. It sounds here like it's done already, but they also said they
Separate.
just began it.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how. I mean, a better takeoff and landing experience to me is, I don't know, a hover mode 3.0 that's more fun, maybe a little less. I don't know.
Yeah, I never
A lot of
experienced hover mode.
questions seem to be with this. There's always more questions asked than, or at least as much as you learn.
Yep. And also, so basically the core gameplay section, we're not going to read this whole thing, but go to this monthly report, go to the core gameplay section. Maybe we'll link it in the description below. But there's so much here. Core gameplay optimized the scan wave mechanic. What is that? Is that the ping?
Yes.
You
I am unfamiliar
I-
of another scan wave in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I believe you. That was a voice of confidence.
Now, I mean, there is the, looking at him with the different. Maybe maybe looking at him is the scan wave, and I'm just not up on the nomenclature.
Well, I
I
think
don't
it is
know.
because then it says overwhelming contact environments where hundreds or thousands of contacts are processed in a short period.
It is the ping, yeah.
Yeah. So they're also making a lot of improvements to scanning. Shardblade in our org mentioned, and I think has been mentioned elsewhere, that they've removed player names. Like if you're in a party, if you and I are in a party together,
What?
they removed our play. Yeah. So the names don't pop up until you scan them.
Well, that just seems. Oh, that would get so confusing so quickly, right?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea. Like, I guess if you're friends, if you like really know each other, you should have a ping that goes to your friends all the time.
Well, yeah, some sort of transponder to identify
Right.
friend from foe, at least. I mean, I'm just thinking about you do one somersault in a dogfight, and you got 8 contacts, and it's like, whoa, I just think you're going to be spamming. I want to avoid having to spam the ping button.
No, you're gonna have to. You're not even gonna ping. You're gonna have to scan them.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous.
So if we got 10 people, 10 ships, I'm gonna have to scan all 9 other ships to like, unless they don't have their names, they just have a party marker. I assume and hope they still have a party marker.
Yeah, something that identifies them
Hmm.
as don't shoot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be that's critical.
Yep. Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want to say right off the bat about AI blade scanning or radiation gameplay?
No, when I took a quick run through this, the thing I was most excited about was that control surface bit. Only just because I think one of the worst things in the game is how fighters can just hover pointing down at you and just murder. There's not really use for a lot of ships that kind of do command and control of the ground. Mainly because all you need is one fighter and it points at you. And control surfaces, it seemed like that might mitigate that. So I'm looking forward to that.
We're not gonna be able to just hover in the sky anymore.
Yeah, that's what it
Maybe
made
only
it
certain
seem
ships.
like.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
hope my
so
prospector will still hover quite well, and that may be the benefit
ships
of
that
the
have VTOL.
prospector. Yeah, like the prospector may be better than the the Golem, the new Drake mining ship they released.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one of our callers can give us more insights here. I don't think we've kept him waiting quite this long in quite a while. So, Tav, I'm going to pull up our first caller here.
Let's do it.
Open Comms Radio is a StarCitizen call-in show. If you're listening, you can join us Wednesday nights. We're meeting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Just pop in the Discord and go into the caller waiting room. And guys, if you like the show, just give us a little subby there on the YouTube. But right now we have maybe our greatest guest of all time on Open Comms Radio, Wikkett, AI blades, scanning, and radiation gameplay. Have you heard?
Welcome
Citizens.
back.
Long-time listener. 14th time caller.
You didn't think we'd make it this far.
Oh, I knew you would. I didn't know I'd be part of it,
Thank you.
but here we are.
He's got faith.
You're
Here
welcome.
we are. So, where to begin this week? The scanning. It seems, well, to be honest with you, all of this stuff, the AI blades, the scanning, the radiation, to me, anytime we hear news lately about any of these new things that are coming to the game, which I thought we weren't supposed to have new things coming, but here we are. When they bring them to the game, it seems like when they announce a lot of this stuff, it's like some half-baked explanation. It's like somebody decided to spitball something, threw it against the wall, and told the rest of the dev team, well, let's just see what sticks. And we'll iterate from there.
No.
I mean, that's the feeling I get.
We gotta get. I agree with you in that they did say that it was going to be a little less feature heavy, and some of these do seem. I mean, maybe there's a mission tied to it. Possibly.
Who knows? Again, they're communicate. I mean, obviously they're game developers, not game communicators. So why would we expect them to develop a game for 13 years plus communicate information consistently and concise? But I digress. Let's get on.
I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah.
I don't want them to tell me anything anymore. I just wanted to get out there.
Well, I mean, obviously they have when they add new things to the video game we're all playing, they have to explain it, or is it just for us to figure out? I mean, that'd be
No, but
asinine.
but explain it like the day before or the day of. You know what I mean? I don't want to like sit on things. This jabroni sends a picture of a component, an AI blade. Everyone loses their mind.
Well, that's just the population of this game, which when you're spending this amount of money for this long a time, do you expect common sense? I don't. But again,
I feel attacked right now.
well, you should feel attacked. I
What's
feel
what's
attacked.
what's the upside, Wikkett? What's talk
Yeah,
about the
I'm-
upside?
I'm
Why are you
turning
here?
into an Ouroboros. The
No.
the snake is eating the tail here. I mean, I'm one of the faithful.
That's true.
Anyway, let's stop digressing and let's get to a couple of these things. First of all, scanning.
Exciting.
Another half-baked idea of.
No.
I mean, we
So
already
reliable.
have hardly any information from the scan. You know, even in the real world, we have this thing called AIS. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is that?
Automatic information systems. Planes have it, ships have it. Anything that kind of travels throughout the world that isn't like on a roadway, even the railroad has it, and they're on rails. You know, and that basically what it does is it broadcasts information about your ship, like who the name of the ship, the type of ship it is, the current speed of the ship, the direction of travel. Because you know, like when you're a plane, you're traveling in 3 dimensions. There's no physical road to be on, so obviously that's important information for collision avoidance and so forth. My thought was on something like this. They should have something like that. You want to put it. You can even attach it to an AI blade. To your AIS can be toggled on or off. Because if you're in the world and you're flying around with your buddies and pals and everybody's transmitting their AIS, you know, their information about the ship system, and then you detect a ship that is not broadcasting. Well, why aren't they broadcasting? Well, it could be that their AIS is broken, or more than likely, they're probably a bad guy and they don't want anybody to know about them.
Pirates.
Pirates, exactly, or just criminal scum
Canadians.
and villainy. Who knows? Anyway, that being said, that could have been an easy implementation. That could have been such an easy win to do something like that instead of what they're giving us. Scanning, if you're going to make this change, are they fixing something that was broken, or it should have always been the way they're going to implement it now? Well, if that's the case, then in conjunction with that, you should make the scanning work a lot better and more consistently.
Well, hold on.
Then you should maybe have 2 tiers of scanning, like a deep scan, like if you're trying to figure out what cargo they're carrying, or a really quick scan to give you like basic information, like, what jabroni is flying this ship and are they red to me? Are they friend or foe? All pretty much
Yeah, some
important
sort of active and
information.
passive.
Yeah.
But you can scan different things. Like you're not just scanning ships. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
yeah.
you
Well,
can
right
scan
now, all we can
rocks, you can scan all kinds of
right.
stuff.
You can ping for the animals and all this other stuff. I mean, I understand, but not knowing, I mean, that's just going to make the whole stealth mechanic even more overdone. Right now we're in the stealth meta. If your ship is not stealth, then you're probably going to get shot and destroyed. And now they're going to take away even the little hint of a ping or something, the hint of a marker. Space is big. Space is extremely big. All right.
I imagine all ships will have, maybe it's wishful thinking, will have a transponder of some kind. And then let's say you're in like a Corsair, like a Drake Corsair or something, you can pull out your transponder. And then if I pull out my transponder, then you have to like physically
Maybe.
scan
Yeah.
me.
Anyway, you get the point I'm trying to make. There's better ways of doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna think. I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the recent intel of not seeing your party markers that has to be a bug. I mean,
Yeah.
I would presume that to be a bug.
I mean,
No, I think they changed it on purpose. I think it's in the report actually.
well, I hope party markers are
It's gonna
something
lead
that you
to
should be able to see.
chaos.
Yeah. It's they're this game is already hard enough to play with all the bugs and stuff, and now they're making so much more busy work. What happened to, we're gonna simulate the hell out of this game and then iterate it and dial it back to fun? What happened to that ethos that they used to have? I don't know. I think they're dialing it up to stupid now with a lot of these
They got the shaking of now shooting the pilot guns.
Yeah, this thing with, like, for example, radiation. Okay. All right. If you're in space, all right, and you're not around closely around an or a planetary body that has a magnetic field, your ship is going to be inundated with all kinds of radiation. You're constantly going to be hit by radiation from all different sources: cosmic rays, neutrinos, um, just normal background radiation, solar radiation. I mean, all this stuff. When you're inside of a magnetic field, that doesn't bother you. That's why these ships have shielding. So hopefully this radiation shouldn't, this shouldn't affect you too much in the ships. That's why this whole game mechanic in Pyro, when they had the solar flares, that would like overwhelm the ships. I mean, that seemed kind of crazy. I thought that was kind of weirdly implemented at the time when the first betas or the first looks into Pyro. They didn't turn it on when they gave Pyro to us, but that's
Well, how
kind of
often do solar flares happen, like in reality?
well. That
Do you,
depends.
do you have an idea?
It depends on the star, right?
It happens all the time, but there's different levels of it, right? Like a coronal mass ejection.
Mhm.
If a coronal mass ejection in real world Earth sun system, if one were to happen from the sun and hit us, it could technically fry tons of shit if it was
Okay.
powerful enough and it was like a direct hit. Like a glancing blow, not so much. And like that's why like a coronal mass ejection that, let's say, is heading towards Earth and the moon, right? Let's say we had astronauts between Earth and the moon or on the moon. If they were on the surface of the moon or they were in between Earth and the moon and a coronal mass ejection hit them, they'd probably be dead within days of being exposed to that much radiation. It would just tear apart their DNA. But I don't want to get too in the weeds of that. And the last thing is the AI blades. I don't know. I think it's much to do about nothing. I think it's just going to be another ship component.
Yeah.
The way it works now, what kind of shields do you have? Okay, you have AI blades. Okay, and then what's the differential? Well, this one takes more power, but it's better at doing whatever that blade is supposed to do. Right now, we only have like the avionics, and eventually they'll have, for bigger ships, you might have um, blades to run turrets and shit like that. But I think there's going to be trade-offs. Hopefully, if they implement it correctly, there'll be trade-offs to basically, you only have so much computing power, you only have so much power, you only have so much heat dissipation between your coolers and your power generation and so forth, and you have to balance that, or you're going to overload. Maybe, like they say in this monthly report, you burn out a component, right? Well, let's say you burn out your avionics AI blade, and now all of a sudden landing gear doesn't extend anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm curious of what the AI part of AI blade, because right, the way you're describing them, they just sound like components.
yeah, I
They're
think
just
that's what
buffs.
well, I think the blades themselves, I think they're just going to be features to the ship. I think it's just going to be another metric to differentiate ships, maybe. But again,
Customization.
we've had such great communications from our overlords at CIG that we're just making guesses. We're just grasping at straws once again.
So
but
many
perhaps
wild
you're.
theories out there. I mean,
Yeah,
I was reading that the blades, even there was that could be a navigation blade, and all of a sudden, your ship's going to be able to come to you on recall, and if you're out somewhere on a
well,
planet, I'm like, well, that's not. I'm pretty confident that's not it. Like,
I really can't even. I really can't be even too mad at the fans of the game, the players, and the people that theorycraft the stuff,
You mean
because,
yourself?
well, yeah,
it is fun to theory craft.
myself included. But I mean, these people that have all these wild theories, and they're ready to die on their AI blade hill or whatever, because I mean, look, some of these people are so starved for shit to talk about or things to do in this game that any little nugget just like overwhelms the cerebellum, and they come up with these wild, crazy ideas, and then it becomes a damn back and forth war in Spectrum or some shit.
Yeah, the posting of an image of a blade was that was the epitome of it.
That somebody threw a grenade in
Yeah,
Spectrum.
exactly. That's it all in a nutshell. Just the blade, an image of blade. Yeah, that's it.
Well, look, I don't want to monopolize like normal, like I usually do. So
Oh no,
there's-
you're you can stay here. We're gonna bring on our next
yeah, I'm
guest.
sure Lord Anubis has a lot to say about all this stuff himself.
Oh yeah. This is Open Comms Radio. Be sure you guys have liked if you got this far. Give us a little subscribe so you can catch us every week. And remember, you can call in anytime by just popping in our Discord. Our new caller right now, new caller, old caller, one of the best, Lord Anubis. How you doing?
Oh my God, I thought Wikkett would never shut up. I've been waiting so long.
I know. I was. So
God.
we have a new rule.
Oh.
Tav and I talked about it. We want to give every caller about like 10 minutes. 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Wikkett went over his time a little bit.
Yeah,
Did I?
I counted at least 32 seconds in excess. This is egregious.
Unbelievable.
Lord
I
Anubis, let me ask you. Hold on, man. Let me ask you the question. All right. AI blades, scanning,
wait,
and
AI
radiation
blades?
gameplay.
Wait, whoa. No, go ahead.
Have you heard?
I've been listening to all this. Yeah, I would say, AI blades. It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, NPCs have this ability. I mean, it's cool and all. I like the idea that I don't need to have friends to operate my ship. Cool, but I mean, it's a big nothing burger to me. I mean, it was eventually going to happen.
Can I share something I learned about these AI blades? Apparently, we are getting some kind of blade at Invictus, but it's a flight AI blade.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a landing computer probably, and
Oh, so
an
it's not
autopilot.
There's more to that. We possibly an actual autopilot. Like, God, I read that and I was like, "There's no way."
It's.
Maybe I was too much of a doubter. Like,
I mean, Elite Dangerous has
Are
been
you
doing
saying?
it
Are you
forever.
saying autopilot where you can go into your star map, set a destination, and engage the autopilot? Go use the fake toilet in the back while your ship is traveling to, let's say, 3 different waypoints until it arrives at the destination. And when it arrives at the destination, it's going to hail the ATAC and get landing permission, land the ship, and then by the time you're done with your business in the fake toilet, you're at your destination.
I mean, my girlfriend's car does that, so yeah.
You have a car that has a toilet?
I
Nice.
mean, anything's possible when you're inventive with grocery bags. So yeah.
Well, no, I'm
Very
talking
interesting.
about like the little toilet in the ship where the fold down toilet, fold out sink, and there's that kind of deal. I'm not talking
My
about it
grandmother
getting in a
had,
box in the
my
back seat.
grandmother had I think it was an Element or something, and she had a toilet in it.
Honda Element has a toilet in it. That's crazy.
You could custom, yeah.
That's awesome.
Is the Element the big rectangular like box
Yeah,
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I mean, we have cars that do these things. We still don't even have a remote. I can't unlock my damn thing with the little keychain on my damn armor. Why not? Like I have this thingy that's around my wrist, and I could press F2 and it pops up, and I should be able to just open my ship up. Maybe summon it. I mean, like literally there are $20,000 cars that do all this stuff, drive you to your destination. You got to pay a little extra for the subscription, but I mean, these are things that are not hard, especially in a video game when NPCs already do it.
Could you imagine if CIG has the flight AI blade and they're like, yeah, this will only
subscription based.
Yeah, this will only work.
Well, we learned last week we're never going to have subscriptions, and then I looked online on the website and found that we currently have a 2-tiered subscription program.
We do.
So I wouldn't put it past them putting some shit behind a damn paywall.
Features though, I don't think so.
Especially now that we learned that the financials from 2 years ago, they lost $20 million.
No,
Both
no.
of
We're not going back there. We're not going back there. Wikkett, it's Lord Anubis's time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know,
Just taking
Anubis
over
wants
my
to come
time.
up here and talk about
Well, you
toilets and
invited me to
cars, or
stay on the couch. Are you trying to kick me off of the space
no.
couch?
I never. I never.
No, this is where all the casting's done.
The space couch. You know why they call it the space couch? Infinite space.
Yep. You can get as many butts on this couch as possible,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Wicked, I
So
will say that
Anubis.
does seem to be the natural progression does seem to be some assisted waypoint system that might bring you from station to station. I think that's probably more the summoning to me always seemed like a bit of a reach, even though I know the AI does that. But that
I mean,
I mean that's like it's not going to come out of like Fallout, right? Just transport your ship.
no,
I
I
hope
mean
that.
like let's say you park it over, behind a bush somewhere, or you're a moron and you didn't turn the engine off and you jumped out and now it's floating up in the midair. You just hit a button on your little thing, it brings it towards you.
Okay.
Or it lands it, automatically
Yeah,
just wherever it
that
is. I
seems far
mean,
more reasonable.
my drone that is literally like the size of a baseball does that. I press the button and it just lands it. Or it brings it towards me, or I mean, these are very common technologies that are every single day that are not implemented in the game, but are easily doable just through the use of you make a little temporary NPC interaction just controlling the ship. I don't see how this wasn't already in there. We haven't really needed it too much. I mean, it's been fun enough, but I mean, it is what it
Probably
is.
just priority.
Yeah.
You know, if it's something that they know they can do, and they're like, okay, we can do that. You push it off. I hope that they're at that point where they're like, let's knock out all this easy stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know if this is easy. The scanning though.
That's the dumbest thing ever. I mean, honestly, they are
What?
making an MMO. Not this isn't like a it's an MMO. I mean, it's supposed to be social. It's massively multiplayer. I'm supposed to just guess who's a player and who's not by looking how they fly, I guess, or whatever. I have to sit there and zero in on them and take time to scan them to determine that I'm not going to go to jail if I shoot at the person who might be shooting at me. Like there's just so much that doesn't make any sense. Now, you see a guy who has scrubbed his IFF transponder and just said, okay, well, that guy's up to no good, right? That's one thing. But, like if everybody you have to scan literally everybody in a situation, it doesn't really make any sense when, again, the technology is there. And also, this is an MMO. We need more player tags to be seen. We need to know who is around us because that's the social aspect of it. It feels like you're
Especially
alone when everybody looks like an NPC.
especially if the scanning mechanic continues to work as it does now. By the time you get a scan on somebody, you're dead.
It's so bad.
Now maybe this is like a tier 0, because if you think about it, if they're like, okay, we're gonna have these transponder components, yeah, and you can turn these components off or they can get damaged.
Well, we don't
But
even know if we're going to have that though.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
there's no
let's
mention.
assume. Well, there's communications components. I imagine that's what that would do, right?
I think it's got to be hard too. If you, I mean, on a real plane, a real ship, if you want to pull that out, it ain't that easy. You want to rename it, it ain't that easy. It's also major plot points in shows like in Andor. He was having to scrub his transponder, pop a new one in, change the serial number on his stuff. It was like a big thing. Let's see, The
Lord Nubis, I love
Expanse.
Andor. Don't spoil it for me though. I'm
Well, that
only
was
a
from
couple
season one.
episodes in.
That's season one. That's season
I
one.
know. I'm just
Very early on in season one. So if like you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, then I mean, I can't help
You
you.
know, finally the MSR has some reason to have that big radar dish on it.
Exactly. You even
Scanning
had
ships.
almost.
on the Expanse, the Rocinante. They had to
Yeah.
change it from the Chachi to the Rocinante. It was a big deal. That's fun
Yeah.
aspects of the game. I think you should get up out of your seat and have to physically pull that thing out of there. I don't think it should be a switch.
Well, right. So regardless, though, when that communications transponder component, for whatever reason, is off, then how are you going to communicate? Then how are you going to figure out information? You're going to have to physically scan them. So if they're
Yeah.
implementing this into the game, they're like, all right, well, let's make sure we have the physical scanning done first, and then we'll put in the, active components. Does that make sense? Like if I'm thinking
Well,
about through like a project
No.
management perspective.
But the scanning, like for example, let's say you scan the ship, that's not going to tell you, like right now it tells you the name, like if it's NPCs, it will tell you the names of people that are on board, but that's
Mhm.
kind of a weird hack. Scanning, it shouldn't be able, unless it's some kind of magical thing that just is able to read people's ID. It should, if you do like a deep scan, you should see what kind of cargo they might be carrying, their weapon loadout. But a basic scan should just say, "Oh, Hornet traveling at this speed," or whatever, or if there's some kind of friend or foe designator, that should give it. But it should be quick. It shouldn't take, like now you got to kind of have that guy in your crosshairs and keep hitting keep the scan button going to actually get a result. And then if they move too fast, how are you going to keep up with that? I mean, it just seems kind of
that all seems ridiculous. Just walking through it. So I think it's. I would put money on a bug, right?
Hey,
It's still in the PTU. I put money on a bug.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's not even in the PTU yet, is it? Or is it? I don't know. I don't play the PTU.
I think it already is. Yeah, it's already starting. But I mean, they should put a cooldown on the transponder, so when you turn it back on, it's going to take a while before you can turn it back on. It leaves you in a state of questionable legality, so you might want to hang back and not be around things where it can get, you can get scammed by cops. Cop sees you, you should get a crime stat immediately for running without a tag on.
Yeah.
You know one thing that we have in game that we don't have in real life?
Cruz Lux.
Hydration check.
Lord Anubis. Since you're here, you did it so good last time.
Yes.
You want to
Well, I
read
still have the
the
contract, unlike some people who abandoned the damn company to go for distorted siblings' view of how it should be going.
Yeah, we're gonna give him his he's gonna get like 5 seconds.
I'm a Lux loyalist, is all I'm saying, because Cruz Lux provides you with the energy, the nutrition, and the slam
Don't
you
say
need
it.
to get through your day. It is in there. Despite what this guy says, we put the most slam in any drink that you could ever possibly have. It's prescription strength.
Let
This
Slam your
is
me
the
thirst.
drink you want because
children's mothers, fathers out there, listen. There's no slam in Cruz Lux. If you get Cruz Lux with slam, it's
Slam your
Pyro
thirst.
Lux, and it's no good. Stay away from it. Just say no.
transparency is important, and I need everybody to know, yes, we put slam in there. I think it's a selling point. I think it's a wonderful thing. But, yeah, we've got people who disagree with us. That's fine. Because you know what? When you drink Cruz Lux, you give no fucks. So their opinions don't matter anyways. Drink that slam. Get through that next mission
Cruz Lux. Fuck your thirst.
at your local Rest and Ready.
Nice. All right, Tav, what bullshit
Lord help
sponsor do
me.
you have for us today?
Oh, I was gonna actually pivot real quick before going to a sponsor. Can we talk about the flight model or more of that?
Oh, hold
That
on.
seems
I think our next guest is an expert. You can take the lead there though.
Oh, no. Nope. I think that's. I would just put it as an open door under the stuff that was talked about on the roadmap, and we can introduce the next guest, and we'll just see where the conversation goes.
All right, so you don't want to do your
Nope.
subpar sponsor?
Well, no. We'll talk about reclamation windshield washer fluid in the future.
All right, Open Comms Radio, your Star Citizen call-in show. If you've made it this far, guys, give us a subscribe. You're in the 15, 20% who make it this far. So congratulations. Thanks for sticking around. Our next guest hasn't been with us in a while. It's Murphy Jack. Murphy Jack, welcome to Open Comms Radio. AI blades, scanning, and radiation gameplay. Have you heard?
Welcome back to the show.
First, I know it's been a while. I've been very busy. Kick-ass intro. That's really cool. It's the first time I seen it.
Hey,
Yeah, Tav did that.
cheers.
Yeah, cool.
I have a purpose.
First on these blades, I was under the understanding that they said this is something to do with flight tuning, but we haven't heard anything official yet, right?
I got the same. It's a flight blade that's coming out first. Yeah.
Yeah, so like flight tuning. So I just think what that makes me think of is back in the 312, whatever, when we could overclock things. Is this like a potential return to that, in this like new system
Dude, I
that they're
forgot about
doing,
that.
engineering and all that stuff? Are they just bringing that back in a different way? Like you overclock this comp board and you like put the comp board in, and now you're like, well, your engines are overclocked, but you lose a little bit of shields or something, right? I just that was my understanding as flight tuning, but
So
I don't know a
essentially
whole
just
lot
a
about that.
buff. Yeah. I mean,
We'll
Take
see.
away
I
some
mean,
of my boost and give me more like standard acceleration or something.
well, I mean, back in the day, it was just overclock everything because there was no downside other than it was supposed to burn out your components, and I think it might have for a patch, like the component health would drain, but then it just stopped.
Wasn't that was like before we had power plants and stuff, right?
You mean physical ones? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this was a while ago. This was before the inventory system. But that was my thought on this AI blades thing. It's like the introduction to tuning, and much better way to introduce it than something that they've already done a little bit. But speaking on that, the scanning thing, right? Didn't this already happen once, like within the past 6 months, that we weren't able to see players' names? It was just serial numbers. I swear this happened before.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that was
that
a
And
was
bug.
that was
right?
contributed to a bug.
well, now I'm wondering if because what I've been noticing is players' names are sticking to their ship even though nobody's in it. Have you seen that at all lately? Like I noticed it this past week with little time I had. There'd be an empty ship, but it had a name. And
I haven't
it didn't update until I did a tab ping, like a ping, and then it showed up a serial number.
I have noticed that. Even like
that
when they
sounds
leave the
almost like
ship,
a
it still looks
desync.
like it's them. Yeah.
That sounds almost like a desync.
But it's been happening. I mean, it was happening a lot, especially at Hathor when there's like a million ships on the ground. And then it happened yesterday at the executive hangar. People got out of their ship, and I'm sitting out there. I was waiting, and I was like, "Oh, I'll wait till they go in, and then I'll go in." And I'm sitting there waiting, and the name just stays on the ship, stays on the ship. What the hell? So I go up and I scan it. Nobody's on it, and then it updated to the serial number. So, just I feel like in the classic style of them not communicating and Spectrum being Spectrum, that this may be a bug, but in that way, because I swear that we tried this once before and they were like, no. But I will say also, it would be funny if this is intentional because they're bringing out this new like Gray Cat MTC thing. Is that going to be like an AWACS? Like what is this mobile tactical center?
What's an
Oh
AWAC?
yeah. It's like
So
information control.
So
yeah, like
they're hiding a feature behind a paywall again.
oh, it makes you wonder. I
They're
mean,
making they're creating a problem that you can solve by buying a new vehicle. Is that what you're
well,
saying?
But
Oh,
is
I
the Gray
they
mean,
would
Cat
never
one? Is that? I
they
thought
would
so.
never
That's
do
not
that.
just land based. That's a full on ship.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know yet. I think it's a ground vehicle from what leaks I've seen and stuff, but it just makes you wonder, like, is this going to be, you know, you got to bring this ship in and it's got a radar dish in it and somebody's got to man it. So when you're trying to protect an AO or something, right? Like you got to have a great tech MTC. It's just something I just thought it was funny because that's what everybody was thinking.
I
This is
wouldn't
some
put it
kind
past
of, this is some kind of data thing, like I say, like an AWACS, like a airplane.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put it past
But-
them.
Yeah. I do think it's on purpose. I'm not as pessimistic. I think, like what I said earlier, I think they're going to have some kind of component that's some kind of transponder that you'll normally be able to pick up. Maybe it was just a ping or whatever. And then if that's turned off, you're going to have to physically scan it. And, it's called scanning gameplay. So I hope it's more than just point ship, at point reticle at ship, and it automatically scans like with rocks or something. I hope there's some kind of tuning involved, depending on the ship that you are trying to pick up.
Yeah,
or
wouldn't
depending on the
that
distance.
that would give a lot of use to? I mean, we've got a series of ships going from the Terrapin to the Connie Aquila, like that have radar specific scanning suites dedicated on them. I know 600i's got like a scanning suite. I imagine they have to bring, as this is part of that effort, to bring utility to all these different sections of these ships.
Just think what's involved with that, though, because okay, you're in the Aquila and you're just the Aquila and you scan and now you see everybody. All right, great, but you're way outnumbered. So if you're in a party and you are scanning for the party, is the game and CIG really at a point to be doing data link like DCS does with fighter jets? Like,
Yeah, press. Yeah, I press to doubt.
I mean,
Mhm.
I can guess that they would force a state onto the player, so instead of broadcasting to everybody, they basically make it so you ping off of them to broadcast to everybody else. So you know, basically, you're exposing them by shining a flashlight. In another word, you know,
That still is
that makes
involving
sense.
some form of link, though, between the two ships. You're right. It is. Even no matter how simple it is still a data link. Which you're right. I immediately wouldn't trust in any kind of. I mean, just look at the Cub. how temperamental scanning is right now, or has been for. Yeah. No, I would think maybe by giving these other seats, whether it be the Terrapin or other data seats, maybe they just have more functionality by having a more powerful component of what more powerful version of what the pilot would otherwise have. Maybe that's a very easy way to do it. That seems like to me a much easier path from A to B of like making these other scanning seats functional.
I will say this for scanning: when it comes to industrial gameplay over the last couple of patches, scanning rocks, scanning minerals, all that kind of stuff has worked extremely well, above and beyond what I was expecting it to work. RS signatures are consistent. Honing in to a focus scan, even from long range, you can see pretty good information about a scanned rock if you want to head that way. And then the RS signatures, they're consistent, so you always kind of have an idea of what's going to be in the rock and how many rocks there will be and things of that nature. So that's been working pretty good. As far as scanning ships and stuff, though, it's been a clown car. You just never know what kind of clown's going to fall out.
Yeah, it's just an unnecessary mechanic at this moment. And it's not even an actual mechanic, it's just a restriction.
Well, this just goes back to the fact that if they're gonna basically make every player of the game part of the QA team, and they want to get, I would say this PTU cycle thing, and then for weeks and weeks on the PTU, and then it comes to live, and then most of the time it takes another week or two for it to stabilize on live. I just say get rid of this PTU nonsense and just develop on the live. I mean, it's getting to the
No,
point now.
I want stability on live though.
What stability?
We
Yeah,
have
well, that's
something.
It's a relative phrase in Star Citizen.
No,
we
but
don't have
I want real.
resistance.
It's more stable now than it's ever been. And they're gonna keep, as long as they don't mess it up, it's gonna keep getting more stable. And I want live to maintain that.
Things are
Because
getting
I just
more
like
normal
mining,
again.
dude. I like going around mining. Right now, you can see I'm just looking at cows. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to do, and I don't want to like get crushed out of the server because I don't know what happened.
It's good that they have the most stable environment at live. I agree. It's take the bigger risks in PTU.
Which
Now we
is
do have
fine, but they do continually ask that we need more people on the PTU to stress test stuff. If they want more people to test, if they want more people to get on the PTU, they should incentivize it somehow. Make it worthwhile, just like if you watch nowadays a new game comes out on Twitch, if you watch the game on Twitch for a couple of hours, you get some kind of in-game thing. So now you're incentivized to watch some streamer and then actually go out and play the game because you got some free shit in it. Same
okay,
thing can
but
be happening
yeah,
in the
but
game.
Wikkett, we're 5 people on the couch right now.
Mhm.
Out of these 5, how many of us have the PTU and play the PTU?
Not me.
For like 5 minutes.
Okay, so none of us actually go into the PTU. I
Murphy.
I uninstalled it.
I think
Yeah,
Murphy does.
I used to. I haven't
Okay.
since I stopped being a subscriber.
So why'd you stop?
Because I stopped being a subscriber, and by then I'd like wave. I don't know, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting at that. It's like it's buggy. You don't want to play that. Like, I don't, dude. It's my time. If you want to pay me to be a QA tester, great. If you want me to do it out of the kindness of my little heart, or for some like little, I guess in-game stuff that you're mentioning, Wicked, but like at some point, like that stuff doesn't matter. Do I need a bobblehead that I can't do anything with?
It doesn't matter. It's not going to cost them anything to. Okay, everybody who joins the PTU gets this and this weapon, or gets this piece of armor, or gets something a little bit rare. Yeah, they could come up with all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of
Cosmetics.
assets in the game.
Well, most of that is the content, right? I mean, a lot of us will, stuff that gets leaked, or even if it's just YouTube videos. I mean, how many people saw Wikkolo on YouTube before ever seeing him in the game?
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that number's pretty high.
Well, that's just some knucklehead trying to be a content creator. I need to get out of this dead end job working as a busboy in the restaurant, and I want to go on YouTube and make content. Let me pick the most irrelevant game for content creators, StarCitizen.
Hold on, now I feel attacked. I didn't feel attacked as much in the beginning as I do now.
You are literally creating content. Wicked. However,
Yeah, but I'm doing it out of the love of the game. I'm not here to get paid.
you're not here for the cold hard cash like Jar Jar is, just the raking in all those Twitch bucks.
Well, right now, Jar Jar he's just waiting to get that big sub button.
Honestly, we have like 83 subs, guys. Get me to 100, baby. Get me to 100 subs. Okay,
Followers,
me and
you mean?
Tav. No, subs. I'm talking about the
Oh,
YouTube. I
on
don't give
YouTube.
a Twitch. Who cares? We need the YouTube
Wait.
subs. And then when we get 100 YouTube subs, Tav, what do you think? We go to Rumble.
Just like the
We
board,
double
we
up.
just infect everything.
Yeah, and then we just start spewing some hatred, man.
You got to Bumble.
Dude, the other
It's
day,
an
this
couch.
woman, she looked at me and God, got me angry. Anyway, I
Kathleen
digress.
Kennedy is now ruining StarCitizen.
I mean, she's whatever, man. Andor's been great. Okay.
Yeah, Star Wars has been cranking out bangers lately, so.
Well, Andor.
And Tales of the Underworld.
Oh, I didn't see. Is that the new like Filoni cartoon?
Yeah, it's really good.
All right.
I recommend it.
All right, back to Star, because by the way, I don't know if you guys have realized. I've realized this because I'm looking at this shit every day. The episodes we do, we're on 14 episodes now. Other than our first 4 episodes that I don't count, like nobody really watched them.
F those
So
ones.
we're looking at like 10 episodes. Of those 10 episodes, 2 of them have like 40 or 60 views, and both of those are the thumbnail have something on them that's not Star Citizen. So if
Oh,
this episode's about AI blades. Do you know how much I just want to make a thumbnail with like blade
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes? You know what I mean?
Chat GPT head.
So bad.
Wesley Snipes those components. So yeah.
Yeah. But the only 2 thumbnails that I have that have like one of them shows Star Wars Galaxies on them and the other one has Sigmund Freud on them. They both have Star Citizen stuff on them. But because they have something else on them, nobody clicks on them.
That makes
Mm.
sense.
They don't click because of Star Wars Galaxies?
I'm assuming, or George R.R. Martin's face. I put that on the thumbnail as well.
I hate all these people. I hate your audience. All you people suck. I'm
Unbelievable.
just kidding.
Anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Actually, let us know what you think of Lord Anubis and his opinions. Lord Anubis,
Lord Anubis is ODing on Slam.
what? We
Can't
have one more
OD
thing
on
to
Slam.
look. We have one more thing to talk about that we haven't touched on. That's I really want to talk about. That everyone wants to hear about. It's radiation.
I talked about
Radiation gameplay mentioned in the report.
They're both
Yeah.
G-type stars. They're stable.
What?
Sense.
Hold on.
Can't-
Let me get to this. Where is radiation gameplay? Control F. Radiation. Oh, is it not in the report? Okay, I guess it's not in the. Where did I see radiation gameplay?
It must have
May
been a
take
fever
a minute.
dream you had last night thinking about
No,
today's show.
no.
Reality is merging.
No,
they
no.
did
They
say that in
mentioned
the
it
April
somewhere.
roadmap thing.
In the roadmap. Oh, so this is the monthly report. It's in the roadmap roundup. All right, I'll pull that up in a minute. But while I pull that up, Murphy Jack, you still have you. What do you think about this? Okay, Murphy Jack's left us. Lord Anubis,
Murphy
what do you
Jack
think
tuned
about
out,
this?
man.
I think that it's an unnecessary component, except for, I mean, like on a ship level, it's an unnecessary component.
No, I'm talking about radiation.
No, I understand. As Wikkett said, radiation is really not that much of a concern in space because you're already going to be preparing for it, like it's expected. These sudden bursts of radiation that they're going to have that'll knock things out make no sense because none of those planets would have atmospheres. So like it's kind of weird. I don't mind it on an environmental hazard basis where okay, I got to wear a suit, or there's particularly strong beams of ionizing radiation that can pierce my, normally stellar capable shields. Okay, that's one thing. But it's they're trying to add too much without any reason to go through all this shit. There needs to be things that are valuable to really build upon to make any of this even necessary.
That is a good point, dude.
Mm.
Yeah. Why am I traversing this? Yeah. I don't go to Pyro anymore
Neither do
because I
I.
have no reason.
I think that could be, like I said earlier, maybe they do have a mission or something, or with the climate. I mean, they've kind of, you're right. I don't see them needing to do it because it seems like they could just, as a mission mechanic, just make that section, that cave, extremely cold or extremely hot. And I think that would encourage people to get those respective suits. So that you could already have that gameplay. And adding radiation just seems like it's yet another hazard. It seems pretty far down on the list in terms of I just want to take my suit and put my suit inside a little suit holder, like but we don't even seem like we're there yet. So it seems a little cart in front of the horse for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no real permanence in this game. So what is the point of dragging your balls through the mud to go get something when you can lose it on the next thing, on the next either bug or on the next patch? Like, it doesn't really make sense. And unless you're base building where you can decorate and you could show things off, because that's really what an MMO is about. Like, oh, I could be happy with my little farm, but if no one ever sees it, it's like, okay, it's cool for a little while. But the novelty wears off. So part of it is being social with other people, and they're just taking that away and just making things hard with no reason to do it.
Yeah, I'm here. What did you ask? What were you asking me? I was sneezing.
That was a long sneeze, Murphy Jack.
I must have just missed it. Then Wikkett just let me know what you asked.
We were asking you what you feel about radiation gameplay.
I feel like what it's gonna be is you accumulate radiation over an amount of time. You're gonna have to use one of those decon pens that have been in the game forever but have no use. And that's gonna be it.
That's the saddest thing I've heard all week.
I do. I think
I think that's so likely.
Yeah, that
I think
sounds
you
so.
go to
I
go to
know.
Pyro 1. Pyro 1, the blue planet that's closest to the sun. I think you go to these places and you'll accumulate the radiation. It's just gonna have to be. You're gonna have to carry that pen. I mean, it's in the game. It's been there.
I was thinking more for like
What color is it?
ships.
It looks exactly like the med pen, so that's why
Oh, of
Should be
course.
orange.
it would always screw up. No, there's already an orange.
Well,
Yeah.
before we move on to our next topic, Tav, you have a little ad for us?
Oh, Nod, if you're just flying through and you can't see shit in the verse and you've just tired of spamming the ping and then you realize you still can't see anything, get yourself some reclaimed windshield washer fluid right out there at Checkmate Station.
Reclaimed window washer fluid, sponsored by Cruz Lux, the greatest windshield washer fluid in the verse. Cruz
I
Lux.
just want to say the board was
Like
very
canola
proud
oil. You
to
just use it for
sponsor an unrelated product.
Yeah, well, windshield water fluid had to pay us a lot of money to get on this show, so especially at the 1 hour mark.
My uncle used to put vinegar in water and use that for windshield washer fluid, so it's probably what it is then.
Where is it
makes sense.
reclaimed from then?
Piss and vinegar.
It
Yep.
literally is piss and vinegar.
And that's the other thing, that radiation component where it builds up over time and you got to fix it. That is the exact dynamics. I think that what they're really doing is they're testing for closing the biological loop. You're not just having food and drink, but also having poo and pee. It makes sense now.
You can have irradiated poo.
Golden glowing poo.
Think about that for a moment. And then Wickelow's like, bring me one irradiated turd,
I want the poo poo.
and I'll give you a Cutlass Black.
It's not for pirates.
All right, back to the serious stuff for our serious listeners, who I know come here for all the serious news. And Murphy Jack, this is why we're glad to have you here, because you're the best pilot we have. And in the is this the monthly report? You have in the core gameplay, we spoke about this in the very beginning of the show. They talk about a lot of flight stuff, a lot of flight improvements. The flight experience has enabled a new space flight mode in their feature streams. They're talking about the overhaul control surface tech. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that one. That's the one that gets me. They began.
Yeah.
What do you mean they began? We saw this in Los Angeles. That was
We
the
saw a
first time we
video.
saw it. Like,
We saw a
they
video made
began.
with Sora. It was an
Listen.
AI video.
They can begin again.
I mean, look at we've had we're 4 or 5 flight models. So I don't know. They began is interesting to hear. Not surprising, but the aerodynamic gameplay. I mean, that's they really need to get that in, because that's going to define Atmo fighting so much more than just DPS races like it is now in Atmo, right?
Not just fighting though, racing, mining,
Yeah, all
everything,
that. Yeah.
everything.
Getting shot on the ground by some fighter as they
I
just
mean, even if
hover inverted, looking right
yeah,
at you, like
Like
that's
hovering in Atmo or even light Atmo on a planet's surface where you're close to the planet, that should just drain the hell out of your fuel reserves. That shouldn't be something that you could just sit. You know what I mean?
overheat
is-
your thrusters, right?
Or overheat your thrusters. Something. There has to be some kind of give and take with that.
What's the alien race that has the gravity stuff? The
Nomad?
turtles. No, the nomad, but like
you talking about the Fury or like
no, like the Misk, right? It's not the Banu, it's the turtle creatures. What are they called?
The
Turtle bird
Tavaran,
guys. The Terravan?
yeah
Tavaran,
those are
Tavaran?
aren't they they're birds, right?
Tavaran's the birds ones.
Yeah.
Oh, what the
They're
hell's the
birds.
name of these people?
They were
Yeah,
turtles.
But you're talking about like the Gravlev track they put on like
Turtles?
the bottom of the
The
Prowler or
Sealin,
something?
the species that make the Sealin, whatever. They have like anti-grav. That's like their defining technical feature in lore, is that they have this anti-grav technology. That's where in the Sealin the steps kind of just like float out when you open the
the
door.
Xian.
The Xian, that's what it is.
Xian.
Yeah, the Xian. If they have anti-grav technology, are control surfaces going to affect their ships? Like, do their ships fly with that technology?
Well,
Do you know what I mean? Because
the
why would I?
Sulin, it's a tripod. Where's the aerodynamic
Right,
surfaces on that thing?
right. How's it gliding in? Unless they're like
Yeah.
helicopters, maybe.
It's 1,000 years in the future. I mean, these things should all hover. I mean,
Mm.
I don't necessarily mind the flight model that's in there, which is currently just water, because essentially it's the same thing as if you're floating around in the ocean. Um, you know, I don't. I mean, it's 1,000 years in the future. That's cool. Like, yeah, have the atmospheric and have air affect things, but I don't mind the hovering.
Well, our fighter jets today just hover too. We have a few models of fighter jet that can just hover in the sky.
Yeah, but not forever.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 years in the
And
future.
we've only ordered but so many.
You know, I
Obviously
mean,
not. There's obviously disadvantages to it. And some,
but we got magic space juice that allows you to like go across the Stanton system and and all that other stuff. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's 1,000 years in the future. I mean, other sci-fi things, people are like beaming into places, and
Well, I got something else I can bring up about the future, if you guys don't mind.
yeah.
I got an encrypted message from Invictus Knievel earlier in the week, and just hear me out.
I'm
It was
ready.
encrypted, so I had to run it through the Cape filter to figure it out. But I got it figured out, and so the latest information is that he figured out that the CIG group, they've got some new transit improvements coming. They finally figured out a way to fix the transit system, in the Stanton system at least, because that's where we have all the trams like Area 18, New Babbage, Orison, Lorville. And what they're going to do is they're going to put conductors on all the trains. And that's what's going to keep everything on the rails. Finally.
what if you get on a crazy train?
So that's the word from Invictus this week. He says he'll
That was
keep me up to
2
date.
minutes of dead air, basically.
Oh wow! It's the worst.
I don't know what you're trying to do with that. Trains
I was
don't even
giving a
drive.
nod to. I was giving to our real life conductor.
Yeah.
The callback was
The
there.
last thing I want to hear about is the railroad.
Oh my god, dude! When's that gonna be cheaper?
Amtrak, I
What?
know.
Yeah, all these planes are flying out of the sky. They're crashing into each other. People are freaking out. When are you gonna lower prices and let the regular folk travel and see their mom?
You can do it for free on my train.
Could
You
I?
hope
Yeah.
it.
Come down here.
When is
It'll
the
take a
cheapest
while.
form of transportation available going to be even cheaper for the masses?
Trains are not the cheapest form of transportation. Driving's, I mean, if you have the car, driving's definitely cheaper. Like a lot.
I mean, you got to buy the car.
Right.
I suppose.
I mean, I was
Need
like,
insurance.
the idea of a bus. I don't know. I mean,
Bus
Yeah.
is cheapest. Yeah.
But nothing, pound for pound, nothing is cheaper than as far as moving things is a train. Moves
That's
more
true.
people, moves more stuff.
Unless you're in Stanton.
That's true.
As well.
That's true.
We're
I
getting
live across the street
conductors
from a train station.
saved.
Have I taken the train? No.
it's gone so far off the.
Off the rails.
Yeah, I didn't want to say.
Whoa! Wow, dude. Wow.
No, Tab was going to, but he's like, yeah, I don't want to.
It's just one of the. It just caught that last filter in my. Like,
And then I just obliterated it. And
oh, I love it. Okay, I'll take it.
What
Oh
are these
my
filters
God.
you speak of?
it's that final, like, is that gonna? No, just hesitated.
You know, I'm
That's
like
what the kids
CIG.
use.
I just throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
I'll tell you
Oh,
though,
goodness.
I'm happy about this. I'm optimistic about the game, not about the Amtrak.
Oh,
No, yeah, they're those prices are only going up. But Star Citizen, honestly, man, it's becoming more and more affordable every day.
huh?
It is. It's becoming more and more affordable, dude.
Well,
If
not
you
if you look at the
compare-
funding graph.
Okay, if you want to do this, Wikkett, that let's
You knew he'd
do
do
it because
this.
this is what everyone's talking about. That's bullshit. That's stupid. That funding, first of all, is from 2023, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about, though.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, you're saying Star Citizen is getting cheaper. I'm like, I kind of disagree because we're actually, as a community, we're spending more money on it. Year over year, we've spent more money already
True.
this year than we did same time last year.
Yeah,
How
but
much
the
does it cost?
individuals.
Look at it this way.
Basically,
Instead of needing the Polaris, you can now we're going to have a very similar and a lot of similar utility in a TAC, in a Star Lancer TAC. That's a
Or maybe
significantly
an
cheaper
Idris.
ship.
Riddle me this: how much does it cost to get into Star Citizen?
a
$45.
lifetime of regret.
How much did it cost in 2012?
Well, when I got into it, I paid $30.
So it's gone $15 up $15 in all this time. Yet the value of the
50%.
dollar has gone down. It is
Well,
getting cheaper
actually,
every day.
you have to
Actually.
calculate that a little bit different because at the time when I spent $30, I got the game, I got the Aurora, and I got Squadron 42.
Do you still
I
have
mean-
that package?
Yeah. I mean, that's my game
that's still-
package.
Mm.
I mean, I upgraded from the Aurora to the Penguin, but I still have Squadron 42. I still have access to the game.
Penguin.
Titan.
A savvy move.
But I'm just saying that, at some point they're going to release Squadron 42, and that's going to have even more of a value, right? Now, let's say if Squadron 42 is going to be released like any other game, eventually the people that have not been backing it during the development cycle, they're going to have to buy the game, and most premium games now are like $70+.
$90 for Nintendo games
Yeah.
next year.
So, you know, I don't know where Star Citizen is going to fall in that. Like, let's say it does get released in 2026 and they try to release it. I'm assuming if what's it called? Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out when it's now scheduled to come out and it's not delayed anymore. I would assume that the Squadron 42 will be released at that 2026 CitizenCon and or that holiday season, which that'll give it 6 months to separate from Grand Theft Auto 6, because Grand Theft Auto 6, even though it's not a PC game, it's going to come, be a console exclusive. That's going to suck the air out of every other developer's sales, basically. It's going to be such a massive game and drop, and even let's say it's not the greatest game, it's probably going to be hands down probably one of the best titles of the year.
I mean, the
If
concept of the
Rockstar's
open
track
world.
record, if Rockstar's track record is anything to go by.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, I play. It doesn't need to be. I mean, honestly, I think the storyline is going to be the best, but the online experience allows itself to just form, and that is the real appeal of it. That's also the appeal of Star Citizen, is the open world MMO experience. And yeah, it's going to be a major contender, I think. But I do think that they are serving two different purposes here.
Yeah.
And that the concept of GTA 6 coming out, and then people being able to have that more in their mind when they're talking about things, they can relate Star Citizen more to other people. Say, oh yeah, it's like GTA 6, but you're in space. You can go to these different planets. You can do all these other things. I mean, that's the way I explain it, and I think that will actually be a benefit to both games. I think that there's a subset of customers that like not just, okay, well, I want to play a game, but I want to be in an open thing. I want to be able to just live in a different world.
Well, I think also the dynamics of age and the age groups that are going to be attracted to these two titles is going to be a large a large difference. I think to have persisted this long in this development cycle of this game, most of the current audience is older. They have a lot more disposable income, which is quite obvious. I'm if you look at the funding that's happened, and they have a lot more patience. Which the younger generation, there's no patience. They hardly have any money.
Let's not stereotype the younger generations.
Well, let's just be honest. I mean, I'm just
They're
being
good
honest.
kids.
I'm not saying they're bad. That doesn't mean that they're bad. They have less disposable income. I just think
Yeah.
the audience for Star Citizen's a little bit more sophisticated than maybe the audience for GTA 6. I'm sure there will be plenty of overlap between those two titles, but
I think once Star Citizen implements the dildo factory,
That is
and
true.
location and quest line, I think
Been
it'll
waiting
win
for
out.
that. I mean, God, I paid into that in the original Kickstarter for the Dildo Factory.
Oh yeah, you still got it in your hangar.
No, they sent me a physical box. It was one of the perks. If
hey,
you,
did I tell you
I
guys that they're going
really
to have
invested in that one.
conductors on the trains?
We were on a roll rope, Wikkett.
I didn't want to
You're
hear
gonna
anything
derail
about
us
that.
again?
I had a good joke. I had a good lineup about sitting on it on the dill thing there, but
While
I
you're on a
know. I was going
train,
to go in about something about how they're, meet
while you're on
stretch
the train,
goals. Like,
oh, see,
I mean, you
See?
just pulled it right out of us.
that's right. I was done with it.
Do you just cut the last 20 minutes of your shows, or
oh no, it all stays in. And that, when you put it on YouTube, they're like, "Does this have adult content?" I never click that. Never. I'm like,
Okay.
no, it's fine. It's not for kids, but like it's fine. And I
I mean,
also
you're
don't
playing a
click.
game where you murder people, so for profit.
Yeah, well, you murder people. I just move boxes and
What kind of
fucking
question is that?
crack rocks.
You cut the last 20 minutes. What the hell?
I mean, we could
always
keep
support it.
going.
I
I guess
think
Murph.
that
I mean, well, no, we could keep going, Murph. If you want to leave, you could. I mean, you're
No, I'm
welcome.
all for it.
You're not trapped. We're not keeping you here. This isn't
I just,
bounty hunting gameplay V2.
It's like your morning show vibe, or your
Do you ever feel like that? Like we're like, I don't know, like a dog that just keeps getting distracted by something new. Because like, oh yeah, bounty hunting gameplay's coming, and then they're like, oh, flight control surfaces, and we're like, butterfly,
Amtrak.
and like, we're just like fucking. They're always like, look over here, look over here, look over here, and we keep fucking doing this. I think for me, the only like positive note, not the only one, but a major positive that I've had with this game and with this company came a couple weeks ago when they were like, we're not doing a CitizenCon this year. And honestly, that gave me like, oh yeah, good.
yeah.
Wait, okay. Yeah, all right.
No,
I mean, they shouldn't. Why should the last CitizenCon, from everyone said, they're like, they didn't really have anything. We're still waiting on stuff from CitCon in LA. That was 2 years ago. They still have like 40% of the stuff isn't even in the game yet, right? So like, you're gonna do another CitizenCon. You're already backlogged on CitizenCon features. What are you gonna show at this CitizenCon? Have everyone fly out to? It would have been cool to go to Montreal or whatever, but it just makes me feel like all that time that they spend developing those conventions, which are dope, it's really cool, but that time should just be spent making the game.
I think they got to save up for next year when they release Squadron, and they're going to do it in Manchester again because that's their hometown.
It's a big one, and they got Mark Hamill there.
I mean, realistically, what they can do is just piggyback off of another con.
Now that would, if they release the game next year and they have the big CitizenCon and they have all the actors kind of come out for a big debut, that'd be kind of major, I think, because there's a lot.
It'd also eat a lot of money.
I'm sure it would, but when has that ever stopped them?
No, I mean it would be fine
kinda
for that
like
event.
I kind of like the rush and the pressure of CitizenCon, though, especially for just such a community-funded project. It was a little bit of like, there feels like there's an air of accountability to it almost. A little bit like, no,
Like
just of
some
like, all right,
investor
like
report?
for people that don't follow the constant Inside Star Citizen, for people that kind of wait or catch the inside, they'll watch the show to see, because it's like a highlight reel of what's coming, what's been accomplished. At a really high level, and I don't know. I think, I'm a little disappointed that there's not going to be one then.
There's going to be an online thing.
You can save it for next year, man. You can go to the show, meet all the stars. I'm sure Wiener Dog / Jared will be there. He'll be sneaking Murphy back into the green room to meet all the stars. Mark Hamill, the cast and crew. He'll be hobnobbing. He'll be misidentified as Jared on a bender.
That's not me.
Do y'all, maybe Jar Jar, did you see anything about the weather? I think I read something about weather. Are we close to that? Is that closer? That's not this coming patch, is it?
No.
Nothing relating to weather in this coming patch? Dang it. Where did I read that?
They implemented clouds, is the thing.
Yeah, they forced us to turn clouds on.
Is your cloud
I could have
still
sworn
off?
that we were going to get rain at some point.
They turned on
My
now?
clouds are on. Yeah, the last patch they got forced on. Yep.
They hot fix that? No more cheating?
Yep.
You finally have to suffer like the rest of us?
Yeah. Although I still have my user folder, so I should try it, but I don't know.
Listen, I put together one of my other systems today, and I grabbed a video card, not an NVIDIA. You might want to check out the 9070 XT, Murphy. They're pretty good. If you desperately want a new video card. Again, tangent.
Yes. I know.
It's the hardest thing is
$1,300.
finding them right now.
What video card do you have right now, Murph? He's probably got like a
3070 Ti.
Oh, okay. All right.
That
Yeah, you could
should
upgrade
hold
that
up,
because
though.
otherwise you're maxed out. You have the best
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make that much of a difference. My video card is not throttled or anything at all when I play Star. It's only my CPU that's running
Well,
at like
do you play in
100%.
4K?
No, I have a 1080 monitor.
Okay, so that's why. But like Murphy's a 4K snob, so he needs some more horsepower.
It's a lot more though, huh? Like the
Oh.
difference, playing in 1080, my video card, it's like
It's like 4 times
half
the pixels
power.
in 4K of what you're experiencing.
Yeah, but I would need a new monitor. It would need to be a
Yeah.
bigger monitor. I have like a 24-inch monitor or whatever. It wouldn't even matter, I don't think.
I think 1440 is the sweet spot. I can't hardly tell the difference between 1440 and 4K.
We're gonna keep saying that, and people are gonna start calling us old.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
admit it. I'm old. I'm having to wear
What?
my glasses more and
you're not
more
supposed
now.
to admit it.
Oh yeah.
Knew it. We got confirmation.
Listen,
we admitted it. Move in.
I'm
Rick, I'm
very
gonna need
happy.
you to manage our TikTok.
What?
We
What
need
the
to
hell's
start a
that?
TikTok. We need younger viewers. They're the ones who like and subscribe. Or the youth.
Sup,
I told you,
fam?
man. Stop begging for like and subscribe.
They
Just do your
love that
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Who-
So just anyone who's gotten this far.
Listen,
By the way, if you've gotten this far,
nobody-
subscribe. What are you doing?
Let me ask
Second, no, hold on. Second,
Oh, God.
last week Wikkett told me he's like, stop asking people to like and subscribe. So this week I made sure to ask people real hard.
Listen, nobody ever liked or subscribed because somebody told them to like or subscribe. They're
That's
either
not
going to
true.
do it. They're either going to do it or they're not going to do it.
Nah, dude, that's not
up to
true.
them.
I want each and
That
every
might
one
have
of you listening right now.
That might have worked 10 years ago.
No.
Okay.
Didn't even have
Now
like
it's-
and subscribe
No.
10 years ago. Everyone was on MySpace.
No, it's not that.
Listen,
Jar
Look,
Jar.
no,
Jar
as
Jar.
host,
Jar Jar.
as
Wait a minute.
host of this, Tav, I need
Squirrel.
I need you, Tav.
What do we? How do we moderate? We've never done this before.
We have another caller.
Oh.
If you can
finally,
believe it.
the word of reason has finally joined the caller.
Oh my God, what was the topic of the show even? Okay.
trainers?
You got this.
All right, I'll pull him up. Our next caller is someone familiar, the voice of reason. Broccoli Rob, welcome to Open Comms Radio. AI blades, scanning, radiation, gameplay. Have you heard?
What's going on, y'all?
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. So yeah, what's I just got in. What's going on? What are we talking about?
Oh, nothing.
We were talking about how we wanted people to smash that like button. I want you to take your phone, right? Take your finger,
Yep.
just smash it. So you have to pay not only the replacement fee for the screen, but you actually have to get a new phone. $250 deductible for a new phone because you hit that like button so hard. Do it now.
The subscribe because I want 100.
Okay, enough.
Yeah.
Let
Enough
Rob,
of that.
give a
Subscribe.
You usually have a reasonable take. What do you think about the AI blades and
Bringing it back to
And
reading.
Scanning
Look at
we
all
were
this.
also talking about sitcon right before you came in. You pick, baby.
Oh, AI blades, they're going to be great. It's going to be an amazing way to have a like -1 tier version of crafting for ships. I think that it's going to let us like buff and nerf certain aspects of our ship in terms of handling, top speed, scanning. I know there's a big kerfuffle about whether or not you're able to see players in the ships or not. I think that could be an AI blade coming up, you know?
Now you said crafting.
Yeah. So like we all start off with tier 1 ships, and they're going to get up to tier 5. Assuming improving them means, tighter turn radius, like better yaw, better pitch, all that. I think AI blades are the first step towards that improvement.
You think what Wikkett was talking about, where they're basically just components, like a different type of component.
That's not a bad way of thinking of it. I mean, we have no idea, to be completely honest. We're all just, reading the tea leaves. But I think
But-
that's an easy, like, sort of turning up and turning down certain parts of ship balancing, I feel like is a very doable thing with the game as it currently is. So that feels like a reasonable thing that they would want to do.
Basically, what happened is that one developer threw that picture of the AI blade as a grenade into Spectrum, and it went off, and there was a lot of collateral damage.
Also,
Yeah, everybody's freaking out.
aren't AI like supposed to be illegal in the UEE?
Oh,
No,
good point.
AI to a certain degree, yes. Basically, every time they try to introduce AI, it kills people. So you can have like AI to a certain degree, but not. It can't make important decisions for you because otherwise we just wouldn't have a video game to play.
For some reason, I expect to be fist fighting my ship by the end of the year.
If you have a Geo, an Atlas, that could be done. You can put a thing on each arm of the Atlas. Like even the weighted side, there's like a space there, so you could conceivably put boxing gloves on both of them.
They need
if
to
they
give us
it to them.
swords for those things and just like
That would also be a
allow for
blade.
sports.
Yeah. Blade
The,
combat.
the ship AI doesn't agree with the way you piloted the ship, so the next time you land, it tries to kill you by smashing a ramp on you.
Just talks back to you like what's her name on Solo, a Star Wars story?
Oh, the robot, the droid.
Yeah. I forgot her name.
Broccoli.
L2.
Well, we're giving Broccoli his 10 minutes. Remember? We have a new thing here, Brock. We're trying to give everyone 10 minutes to tell us everything. So we're talking about AI blades, scanning, and radiation, and CitizenCon now. So whatever. But what do you think
and
about
CitizenCon.
and you can jump into that's what we were talking about when you came in. How they're not doing it.
I mean, I guess I'll tackle CitizenCon first. That feels reasonable, Why spend money on a big thing like that? They don't have much to show. It's not the year to show things, really. Like a lot of the stuff that they wanted to pitch to us last year, we haven't seen yet. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with, maybe coming on down to DC, grabbing a few drinks, seeing what Pentagon City's all about. Not a whole lot of 5-sided buildings there, but that's fine. This is the one. I don't really understand why it's called Pentagon City.
Because it's next to the Pentagon.
Yeah, you can't have more than one 5-sided building. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think the sense of community is the thing that a lot of people look for at CitizenCon, and I think people that are chasing the DLC moments are not there for the right reason. What I mean by that is there's a lot of new stuff that they want to bring, and I'm excited for that. But the sense of community that comes with everyone coming together, I think, can be replicated without needing to have to see a bunch of new features for things.
Agree with that. Is there a replacement for? Are we getting something instead, like a pretty epic
Yeah, it's gonna be
ISC or?
digital. We're still going to have a CitizenCon, but it's just going to
It
be
was
all
just-
online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
I was for
2020,
some reason thought we
2021.
were gonna get. Okay, I thought they were
It's
just
going to be like
not
COVID.
skip the
COVID.
whole con. Okay,
COVID con.
well that was my confusion. Okay,
Which like
That's straight now. I have far less concerns then. Okay.
yeah, which I honestly, I want to go out. I want to see Manchester. I want to see Montreal. I want to see LA. I don't really want to see LA, but I want to,
Hey.
hey, East Coast, baby.
Yeah,
Correct
well,
coast.
I live on the best coast. It's the West
You
Coast.
live on the left coast.
I mean,
So
technically,
I like
yeah.
seeing new cities. I like seeing everyone from around the world that we talk to on a regular basis. That's awesome. I don't want to discount that for a moment. But if CIG can save what seems like millions of fucking dollars to not do that and work hours and this, that, and the other thing, so they can focus on like getting out a half decent MMO that we can all play, that we spend 99% of the time together in, I would much rather prefer that.
That's a good point.
Now, the thing that I think is missing, that we will miss from that, and the LA CitizenCon, they made a trophy, and they made it every year at CitizenCon. They make an item. It's usually the trophy, I think, at the CitizenCon, and in LA, Arena went to the dev who was making it and said, "Hey, can you put a button on there and make it like interactable?" And that's why that trophy has a button on it that like you push the button and it says like whatever it says like the year or whatever it says. That's why that's there, because Reno asked him to do it.
Listen, sacrifices
pretty
must
cool.
be made.
Yeah.
For the amount of
Yeah,
money
but you
they're
do
spending.
lose something.
We'll miss out on that, like intimate person to person
Well, we can still have
thing.
intimacy, Broccoli Rob, if you come down here.
You take me to Pentagon City, baby. We'll see what happens.
I'll show you the fifth side.
Oh wow.
What did
That
we
was
see
good.
last time? The fourth side.
Maybe.
It was still a fun time.
No, I
Either
mean
way.
it's like a lot of that stuff won't be there, which understandably, like those small moments help make this game special. But I don't think that they'll never be there again. Like I think like once the heat's off, once Squadron 42 comes out, 1.0 comes out, which will happen in early 2027, I want to say.
Take that back.
Market, bet money on it. Let's go right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the upside on that. Like, I'll take the over. Yeah, you gonna go under that? Early 2027?
2027?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be
That's right.
2029, 2030.
Okay. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
No,
probably
they got
Talking about
they got stuff
1.0?
to make. 1.0 2027.
I don't know. Well, I mean, this year's been great because it's been bug fixes and stability, and I'm really happy with how this year's gone so far. I don't want to take that away, but if I think about what's left to make, 2 years, dude, I don't know, because then they're also gonna have to bug fix that, and like we have AI blades, scanning, radiation gameplay. We were joking earlier about how bounty hunting is like forgotten. There's just a lot that is on that 1.0 list.
But it's all being developed at the same time as all of this other stuff that they're already fixing and implementing. I mean, it's not. They've been working on it for years.
Yeah, that's the optimistic view. I mean, I do think my optimism is that they're going to shadow drop something cool.
Pee and poo.
Wikkett. They're going to shadow drop something cool. Like I don't, because here's why I think that. Because on ISCs and stuff, Jared's like, we're not doing any more features this year, hooty hoo, and he keeps like playing that hard. And you could think he's just being honest with you and upfront, but since when has Jared been honest and upfront with us? I think that they have some cool feature. Maybe it's engineering. And I don't engineering. They're they have something. I think they just won't announce it. They'll maybe have like an ISC on like a Thursday, and then that following Tuesday they release it.
Engineering because they're releasing the Idris P.
Are they?
I'm thinking they are going to, because
What? When?
the subscriber bonus this month was an Idris P T-shirt. Everything's super Idris heavy everywhere, and it's a perfect thing to add engineering because you got to run really far. It makes the game challenging, to be an engineer.
What else is Idris themed? What do you mean Idris everywhere?
Everything. I mean, like the fact that they were like practically stress testing with Idrises the other day, with like, I mean, they were flying fleets of them because people would just steal them constantly. I mean, the devs don't just let that happen. There's a reason for that. Obviously showing it off like as a permanent exhibit. The fact that it's completely flyable and actually really, really fun. I mean, everything just stacks up, and plus they need the money.
I don't think
all
they need
that
the money.
tracks.
We can go back to that. They don't need the money. They made investments. They spent money to move people, but they're not losing money.
Hold on. Regardless of if they need the money or not, if the Idris becomes flyable, it'll still be on a limited sale. They could sell it tomorrow, and it'll still be on a limited sale. They could release it tomorrow, it'll still be on a limited sale. So I think them releasing it doesn't have anything to do with
manufactured
needing money.
scarcity.
Yeah. But all I gotta say, that's it for me. I gotta drink a bunch of water, make sure I'm not hungover tomorrow. Nixon 4, let's fucking go. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Cheers.
Richard Nixon?
Nick,
Yes.
Oh, the
Knickerbockers.
Is he?
Richard Nixon IV is running
The
for
New York Knicks basketball team.
What
which I
show does he
highly-
think he's on?
He's
He just
delusional. if he
alienated our
thinks-
entire audience.
He's delusional if he thinks.
How
that
many people listening to
the-
this?
the Celtics are going to roll over, and that's just not going to happen. Okay.
It's pronounced Celtics.
No, it's pronounced Boston Celtics.
Yeah, it's Celtics.
Wow. Well, with Broccoli Rob gone, I think we've lost all of our gas here.
Whoa, you're saying
Are you saying
all
that
of
we're
us
illegitimate
are so
now
boring?
because broccoli's gone?
Well, he came in, he revitalized, gave us all new energy, new perspectives, and then he just pops out again. That's his MO. Broccoli Rob comes in, does a solid, a tight 10 minutes,
Mm.
and he walks off stage. You, Wikkett, you're like
Mm.
Dave Chappelle. You come in here, you do 3 hours, you kill it the whole time. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
did I tell you that there's going to be train conductors now on the trams?
No.
It's getting derailed again.
You talking about Microtech?
Yeah. At all the towns.
You know,
Punch your ticket.
literal literalness.
We need that. In fact, here's the thing. I don't think that those should be NPC only things. I think that sometimes you could just like take a shift at the ATC and just like help people in.
Or
and then you get
deny
paid.
people landing.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that won't be abused. No.
I want to be a conductor. I want to drive someone around. Let's do it. Where are my space Ubers? First of all, those aren't in here.
That's coming. That's passenger gameplay. That's what the 85X is for, or whatever.
Yeah, but I want space Uber. I want people like, hey, I need a ride because I ran out of this, and like a little gas tank or something.
You know what? One thing I want to point out is that we haven't heard from Murphy in about 20 minutes. He's just emotionally checked out.
He has another sneeze that he was doing.
He's
Oh,
like, I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore.
Murphy, you had
I've
a
been busy.
tough day. You've been busy, huh?
Oh god, past couple weeks been nuts.
Oh man, yeah, I haven't seen you. Well, I think we'll call the show here.
Wow,
We always like to do a little exit question here. We're going to start with Wikkett. Wikkett, anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Oh yes. Sandy Roberts, once again, you're at the tip of the spear. I saw a picture of you somewhere in Asia, surrounded by Asians. You look like a queen bee with all your drones around you. What the hell is going on? Get Chris busy on finishing this damn game. Thank you.
All right, that got racist so quickly.
What? Ow!
Korea. She was in Korea, Wikkett, obviously.
I couldn't remember the country, so I just said Asians.
You could tell just by looking at them.
You can tell an Asian. You can tell
I can.
nationality. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
that skilled.
Bro, honestly, we'll talk about this off air. Okay, Lord Anubis. Lord Anubis. Anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
How the hell do I follow that one? Yes, a couple things. First of all, I want every single one of you to not only
Oh no.
like, but also consider this. There is a button called subscribe. It is located just below where you're looking on your device. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know if you're in the toilet or what.
There's literally
Maybe-
people logging into into the internet right now to unsubscribe.
Yes, you can see your reflection in the screen. You see your own eyes right there. Look into your own eyes and ask yourself, would you really deny the joy to someone else of subscribing? Think about how it would make you feel if you know people subscribe to you. You know, you would like it. So why are you being mean to Jar Jar and Tav?
Yeah,
Feel
that's
ashamed.
awesome. It's awesome. Thank you,
Subscribe
Lord
and
Anubis.
hit the bell too.
Oh, fuck, dude. You know, I never tell people about that because I feel like that's like, what is that?
You gotta ask them to ring your bell.
Murphy Jack. Anything you want to say to Chris Roberts, CIG, or the people on the internet?
Well, no. I'm just glad they began working on stuff.
All right. All right. Tav, baby. We got number 14, baby.
Number 14. Forever shocked that we have more than 10 viewers. Yeah. Appreciate all y'all. We'll see if we can spice some things up. We have some ideas. So tune in next time.
All right. Play us out, baby.
Dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun 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 dun.
dun, 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 dun. It's supposed to be uplifting at the
We're
end.
going Saturn.
Like how Shrek always ends in a musical.